camera.
It is. I just. That explains why I couldn't.
I at least knew that much.
I know.
Hey guys, welcome back to Self Defense 360. I'm your host Sam. Today I'm here with my friend Katie and my sensei Joe, who's behind the camera currently. Today we're going to go over what to do in order to fight like the Facebook killer, or as the case may be, a copycat. So this situation is kind of unique because in most scenarios where someone would come up and they'd hold a gun to you, they want something from you. They're trying to steal your purse, they want your wallet, they're carjacking you, whatever. And in those scenarios, a lot of self-defense instructors will tell you, just give it to them and hope they go away, monitors the situation to make sure it doesn't get worse. This scenario, not so much. They come up, they're just going to shoot you. So you have two choices. You fight or you get shot in the head and die. We're going to show you a couple techniques that you might commonly see if you like Google how to disarm someone with a gun, and then I'm going to show you something very simple that just about anyone of any experience level can learn to really fight back against this type of aggressor. So I'm going to show you real quick a couple of the most common techniques you'll see. For this demonstration we're using a fake gun I got from a Halloween store. Don't use real guns in this kind of practice. Okay, so most common gun defense you'll see on YouTube is something like this.
Give me your money! Give me your money! So, in the first one they'll tell you to attack the knuckles, they'll tell you to attack the wrist, and they'll tell you to do it in one quick action as you move your head out of the way of the gun. Which is wonderful. Works great. But these are all really finite actions. These are things that take years of practice. My personal favorite would be that technique if it wasn't for... I can't show it to somebody and have them pick it up in a short amount of time. A similar one you'll see is like this.
Again, that's something that takes a lot of precision. I almost didn't even get that, and I've done that technique thousands of times. When I did that one, I came up with both hands in order to get a more secure purchase on his arm. I put my forearm and elbow against his, rotated it the wrong direction, stripped the gun away, and came back up. Now with any gun technique you see or disarm that you'll see, the number one priority is to get out of the way of the gun. Because if they pull that trigger or you hit something that makes them pull that trigger, you got shot and your gun disarm is for shit. So what I'm going to show you is something that takes a lot less training and is actually something that Sensei here showed me. It doesn't take as much precision, you just need to get out of the way as the first thing. So he has the gun up to me. First thing I do is I get out of the way. At the same time, I'm going to push this gun away. Alright? I want it out of my path. And I can hit here, anywhere on his forearm or wrist. I prefer right here on his wrist so that I have control. As I hit there, I come in and I give it a big hug and I put this elbow over his and put my body into it. And from here, I have control over this gun hand. There's no amount of wrist turning he can do that will put that gun towards me. And I just press it into my body and lean down, and I put his face in the dirt. Alright? Also, if you're trained to do it, bring it up and point it at him. Don't make him think twice about pulling the gun on you. And also, you're able to strip it away and come out. Now, ideally, you can just put his face in the dirt, just put his face in the dirt.
See, the reason I'm going to do it now is so you can actually see this side of the perspective. When Sam approached me with this, wanting to come up with something very simple, very easy to teach, like you can watch a video and get at least a good enough concept that you can survive a situation, this is as bare knuckle as it gets. When they point the gun, I move out of the way because I don't like getting shot. My second hand comes in and grabs whatever it can. I can grab whatever I can with this and still end up with, just by making sure my elbow goes over, that's the only precise thing needed. I have a bar on his arm. It bends his elbow the wrong direction. And from there, any amount of struggling will be painful, devastating. Just things he doesn't want to do, not to mention the fact that if I get to this point, there's just a lot of things I can do to make it astronomically worse for him.
And the great thing about it is it takes away my ability to fight back. So once he has my arm in that bar, if he just stands here, maybe I can punch at him or try to kick him or something like that, but I really don't have a lot of purchase to do a lot of damage, whereas he can break my arm, or, if you'd like to do it again.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact, if I get here, it's just a hug. Let's say he is stronger than me, he starts resisting. I didn't let go of my hug. All I did was turn the other way, let the gun come around. This is where the gun aims back at an opponent, and then I'm just going to keep turning. This creates a lock in the wrist. And then as long as I just use my body weight, because he might punch me, he might kick me, he might something. If I put my body weight into this, you saw the punches and his face immediately not want to participate in this altercation anymore. So once I have his wrist, it's just a matter of, once I'm in, if I can get the bar, I get the bar. If he struggles, we're going to go the other way to get his wrist. He doesn't get a lot of time to renegotiate or punch me or do anything extra.
Although one thing I do like to do, this is a personal thing, is once I get here and I have this hug, if I come back here, I'm going to drive my knee into his pelvis. Not just his groin, because, I mean, what if he just takes it or I miss? I'm trying to break his pelvis in this and really keep him from fighting back. And then I'm going to wrist lock and really try to break every little bone in his wrist.
The only last notes I have is that the reason I wrote the technique this way, the reason we developed it this way, is that it will work for virtually anybody. And I'll swear by that, because it's a matter of body weight. I could do all of the curls in the world and not be able to hold up the body weight of somebody doing this. If you're over 80 pounds at least, this will work for you.
And here to demonstrate the effectiveness of this technique, no matter the size of the person doing it, is my friend Katie. Katie's probably about 100 pounds less than me and a few inches shorter. So I'm going to have her do it, and it's going to show you just how painful this can be for someone trying to attack you. Ready?
Yep.
All right. And if I try to muscle you, what are you going to do? Get up. All right.
That's fun.
So that was fun. As you can see, even though I tried to bench her, she just came up and around, twisted my wrist. And we only showed her this like maybe a few times. So as you can see, that technique is very effective. We only showed her this technique in the span of making this video. It was only demonstrated maybe a few times, and she was able to do it effectively, painfully. If I had pulled a real gun on her, she was able to beat me to pulling that trigger, she would have been just fine. In fact, if she had put a little bit more effort into it, she probably would have dislocated my elbow or broken my wrist. A few points I want to make. Whenever you're demonstrating techniques like this, or practicing them, and you're using a fake firearm, never put your finger inside the trigger guard. You can really hurt yourself doing that, especially if you're twisting the wrist or you're snatching it away. You can break your fingers. There's a thing called degloving that you don't want to look up, and it's really nasty. One other point I want to make is no matter what technique you're practicing, whether you're defending against a punch or someone with a gun, you always want to make sure you step to the outside. If you step to the inside, then I have my whole body and other appendages to use in order to fight you. If you step to the outside, you've just taken away all of my leverage. So, real quick, we're going to run through a live scenario of this. Joe's going to put my face in the dirt and enjoy. Hey, look at me. I'm on Facebook Live and I'm going to kill somebody. Oh, shit! Thank you guys for joining us today for this demonstration. I'd like to thank Katie and Sensei Joe for joining me. One last thing I'd like to say is I can show you guys all the techniques that I know, but don't train off of YouTube. It's great for finding ideas for things you want to learn, but please go find a competent and knowledgeable instructor that you're comfortable with and train, because nothing beats hand-on experience. Until next time, live long and prosper.